Hello and welcome to the Car Care Shop. We got a 2013 Toyota Highlander. Rear wiper doesn't work. This is actually a super common problem on these. And this one happens to be the most extreme case. So you're going to see everything involved with repairing this rear wiper. We also got some knocking noises in the front to show you how to diagnose that. And we're going to actually fix it as well. And this repair is a little bit on the dangerous side. Depends how it goes. These things might get a little dangerous. You'll see why as we go through it. So let's get started. Let's get to work. Let's diagnose this first so you guys can see how to diagnose this. Then we'll repair it and move on to the next thing right after this. So the concern on this one is very simple. Rear wiper doesn't work. The first thing you do when you get a Highlander like this generation, by the way, in case you didn't know, there's a button here that pops this glass, which this glass opens separate. You're gonna notice that this mechanism separates from here. That's how this works. You see this little rod right here? It engages the motor right here, and this is where the motor is, and that's how it turns. You're not gonna be able to feel this, but if I turn this, it's super hard. I mean, you're gonna hear, I really have to put weight into it to move it. So what happens with these is, you can see a little bit of rust built up right here. Right there, right in this corner. This shaft gets rusty and we end up with this situation. So here's what it usually happens. This seizes up and then the motor is trying to fight that, and people actually will turn it on and forget about it, and it'll keep trying to open and then it wipes out the motor. Because right now, and the best way to test your motor, open this and then go operate your motor. You'll see this moving, but your wiper, of course, is not going to move because you're away from it, but you'll see the motor moving. Watch when I go operate it, what happens. Nothing. You see that? That's not moving at all. The thing is, during our diagnosis, and I want to say this because some folks will say you got to close this for this to work. You actually hear the motor clicking, but it's not moving. You couldn't hear this because I had the microphone on me, but it is clicking when you are trying to operate it. So here's what this car is going to need. It's going to need a motor, unfortunately. If you catch this early on, you will be able to save the motor. You can just get this bracket, get the stuff, which is, in this case, we're going to need to replace both. So here's what we're going to do. Let's start by getting this motor out, let's replace it, and then we'll start working on that. When the motor is out, we'll start working on this, and you'll see why. And we're going to start by removing this piece, which is a piece that you should actually remove before you remove your door panel. Most folks will forget this. It'll still sit here, but when you put your door panel, it'll just be sitting like this. So that's the first piece we're going to remove, and we're going to gently close this because I don't want to slam the glass and break it. Oh, somebody probably works in car detailing or something. I was wondering because this car is extremely clean. So let's get this out. Get this 10 mil out. Then we gotta get the, I believe, yes, this has to come out. There we go. Okay. We're gonna have to remove the whole thing. These always are so confusing because if you look at it, it looks like this one sits under that one. It's actually the other way around. Now, because this has the opener on the side, we're gonna want to get this out. There we go. There we go. This cutout is just so the rod of the motor can clear it. Now that we got that out, start peeling our door panel. There it is. Wiper motor on these is super simple to replace. Got one connector and a few 10s, and it comes out. that is the last 10. That's it. So there's the wiper motor. Nothing really about it. This one unfortunately is stuck, seized up, because it was trying to fight that wiper until it went. Nothing you could do here, so this unfortunately gets replaced as your unit. If you catch this early enough, you won't have to replace that. So I am not going to install a new motor yet because I want to finish the other side. So let me close this door. I'm going to open this back. We're going to start here. See, the problem when you work with this, you got to be extremely careful with everything you do, because you're working against the glass. What was that? Something dropped. I think that was debris. There's actually nothing else. One of these clips stayed here. Problem is, this bolt is actually, these two nuts, they're actually glued to the glass. So do you see this little bracket here? That's actually glued to the glass itself. If you're not gentle with that, you're gonna break the glass. And this job will turn from already a little bit expensive to a lot more expensive. So let's start with the real problem with this job, which is this. First problem is, if you come around and see it, look how rusty that thing is. So we're gonna attempt it. I have a new wiper arm if we need to, because if this doesn't want to come out, here, I don't think that's gonna come out. Just look at it. Look at this. You think that's gonna? Yeah. That looks horrendous. Let me grab a tool, which will help us get this out. If it doesn't work, what we're going to end up having to do is we're going to have to cut this completely off, and that way we have to sacrifice the arm. Usually we try to save the arm. If it doesn't work with the puller, then we have to get it out. And there is no PB blaster or anything that you will put on this that will do a thing. So just heads up from now, because some of you will say that. All you'll do by putting PB blaster, all the products on this, is make a giant mess on the car and get absolutely nothing. That's me, I know that. Folks, these products don't do magic, by the way. Get a really good grip. By the way, this puller, it's just a cheapo wiper arm puller. It's actually meant to do this. This one has seen better days. Sliding off. This is the scary part. See that? That's not gonna happen. That's the problem. Every time. So let's switch sides, Jose, because I have better control from the other side. See if we can save this customer a little bit of money getting this wiper arm off. I don't think this is going to happen, folks. See that? That's the problem. Now, if you live down south or you guys don't have rust, be thankful for that, because that is like welded on there. Nothing will get this guy out. So unfortunately, we're going to have to sacrifice the wiper arm. There's no way around it. If you're wondering what I mean by that, this is the wiper arm. This is this little arm, and that's completely seized. But when I cut it, if it's not damaged, we're gonna attempt to just push this out by force. But I don't think it's gonna happen, and this arm is not even that expensive. We're not gonna risk it. This is the fun part of this. Not looking forward to this because you're cutting right next to the glass and it's a little bit dangerous. So, without further ado, there's only one way to it. Let's do it. Let's open this just to try to protect the car as much as possible. All the mayhem we're about to do here. There we go. All right. I think if you come from the other side, actually, to give me a little bit more room, I can do this because we are in very close proximity to the glass, folks. And that's the scary part of this. That's as far as we can go on this side. Ah, God, this is strong. There it is. That was just the first scary part. That's actually not the scariest part. There is a 24 millimeter nut here. Of course there is. That is put on an aluminum housing. So, of course, when you do this job, if you lived in California, which we wouldn't be doing this if you lived in California because there's no rust, you're gonna just take this nut, we're done, you save this. We're actually gonna have to cut into this because there's no way you're gonna get this nut. So that's the real scary part, because now you're cutting right at the glass. So you gotta be real careful, which we are gonna be. And here's a lot more cutting what's gonna happen right now. Think operation is a success. I'm gonna grab a little plier, see if we can, if this budges, we're gonna use the world's cutest Nipex plier. Works actually really good. There we go. And there we go. Now, yeah, we're still not good. This is, see, this gets from bad to worse to the worst. So now that we got the nut off, you notice we are not moving with this black piece because now the black piece is seized onto the other part. This is the real scary part. Jose, I am serious. Please stand back because if this glass shatters, it is what it is. So now that I weakened this area a lot, I actually can see a little bit of daylight through it. I'm gonna take it out the back and let's see. The problem is you can't pry on this, you can't do anything because you're sitting right on the glass, actually getting hot. So I gotta let it cool down. I mean, just by it staying there, you know it's not gonna go. Yeah, that is not going to happen, my friends. This is the real scary part comes in. So, in a perfect world, this just literally sits here. But because this is steel and the middle part is aluminum, they dissimilar metal welded themselves. So here's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to cut this tip and then try to get at this bottom and kind of cut into it. So, wish me luck. And correction, I believe this is aluminum as well. It's painted. For some reason, they still have that chemical reaction. I'm gonna be very gentle. See if it wants to break off. Not even close. Problem is I can't pry on this because this is attached to the glass, and there is no pry in a glass. Let's just put it this way. That is not working. Which means we're gonna have to go to plan W already. We're gonna have to keep cutting at this until it goes. And hopefully it goes. Actually, do need a new bit. Let me go grab a better bit here. So we're gonna use a little bit of a better cutter here. So enjoy the fireworks. So now I wanna let go. Man, it does not want to go. See if I can cut this ear off. We're almost there. Just gonna find a better angle. I think I can twist this off now, hopefully. I don't want to put too much. There we go. Okay, we are making progress, ladies and gents. That's how you get this out, piece by piece. Or still not. Still doesn't want to go. So now I have to start very slowly and gently grind into this until it gets thin enough where it lets go, because you can't just cut through it because you got the glass behind it. And that's the not fun part. Yes! Operation was a success, folks. Glass is not broken. That's all it is. I just had to keep going at this until it got so paper thin that it just detached from the other side. Now that we got this far, we're gonna have to clean this up because we don't want this stuff to go everywhere. Get some of this last dust off. And I still have to clean this body. Good thing the owner of this car appears to be a detailing man, so he'll excuse us that we made it a little mess, but hey, we got it. Here's the other piece. That's look at this, all this similar metal. And you are welcome to go to the comments and tell us about this product you will put on it, and it'll dissolve that, folks. Can I just say something? All mechanics put that stuff on. Hopefully it works. It never really does. Here's the new parts. It has a little clip that holds it. All this clip does is holds it. This actually does not stay. This little clip, that's all we need. So we're gonna position it in a way where right there. That's good. I'm gonna have to find a center position, and if I remember correctly, my memory is not working today. There's the other piece that holds this on. Best way to line it up is to just use this piece instead. There we go. Give it a tiny tug just to lock it. This is something I like about this Milwaukee impact. You have this setting, so if you go light, it won't impact. It'll stop as soon as it hits any resistance. So that's setting on. That's it. This, of course, will move because we haven't tightened it yet. But it's basically on. And go back and torque it to spec. But before we do that, I want to finish the rest of it, which is going to be our 24 millimeter nuts. If I remember correctly, this is 24. I'm saying it is 24, but now here's something important. We don't want to over tighten this. Yeah, it is 24. See, my memory still works. You don't want to tighten this too much. We're not. This is literally just holding the trim. I think that is good. Not gonna go crazy on this one. Now here's the part that we are hoping will fix this issue from happening again, which is this little rubber plug. This was actually not on the original design, and this protects the inside from getting all kinds of debris in it. Here's the new wiper arm. Make sure we are in the correct position before we tighten it. Yes. Gonna go get me a new nut. There's a new nut. Oop. I don't want to do that. Look at this one. I think I put it in the wrong position though. No, that's good. Yes, I did put it in the wrong position. You gotta put it at its maximum swing. This? Yes. Very good. I like that. Well, we may have to go back and adjust this guy, but before we move on, just in case we end up operating this wiper, I don't want to scratch the glass. Let's just put this. Now, she's gonna watch this. Cool. Now we can actually, let's close this. We're gonna have to leave this open because the motor is gonna go here. Unless we line it up as we go. See, the problem is, yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust this at the end. Problem is, you wanna line this up with the new motor. So I'm gonna close this, open the door, line it up, and then we'll readjust our wiper arm because I think it is too low. I think. We'll find out. New wiper motor comes with new nut, bolts, not nuts. Right here. Before we do that, see, it's not engaged. Do you see how it's not engaged? Right here. Gotta move it a little bit. Oop, I changed my settings. That is it. Cool. Now we're going to close this. Open this. And it should line up. Yes, it just locked in its place. I actually kind of like the position of this. I think we should test it. Let's see. I'm going to leave this up because there's all kinds of debris in the glass and I don't want to scratch it. But let's test it, how far it goes. I missed it. Did it work? Let's see, because I put it on intermittent. Yes. So now, I'm going to actually clean the glass real quick, because I want to test it to see the position. And I think we're done. Button it up, and we move on to the next thing. Yeah, it's like a weird debris in this glass. Something or another. Not the best cleaning job in the world, I gotta admit. We'll work on that a little bit more, but I just want to see my location. I think it needs to go a little bit more up. That's what I feel. It's my decision. And we're sticking to it. Now that it's locked in the motor, I think I'll just go like this. I can sleep better at night with that. Maybe right there. See, that's the problem. It kind of moves all over the place. Okay. I think I didn't turn it off. Yes, I did not. That was a funny moment. I'm like, when is this thing gonna stop? I think that is good, because no matter how I position it, it's just gonna keep moving, but at least it's not down, because we want to get the maximum cleaning of the window. So I think I am happy with that. Start this side first. Right there. It's this thing that's sitting now. I think I know. The problem is this nut that I used, it's just a nut we have laying around, is too tall. So I need to get me a smaller one. Let's try it. Where is it? It's kind of a shallower nut. That's here. There we go. I like that. You see how this part is protected now? Doesn't have, you don't see the metal unlike the other one. See, the other one, it had a little one, but it never went all the way to the end. It was just up to here, and the shaft was exposed. That's why you get all kinds of debris there. I like this. There is one thing. We're gonna clean the rest of the car at another time. Let's get this going. It's like Velcro. And then close this, open this, and we do have a few clips that stayed here. See, folks, every time you do interior work, whenever you see clips that stay, you gotta pull them out. Like, see, we got this one, got another one over here. You pull the panel, sometimes they got one here, You gotta look around. Actually, this entire thing has to come out. But you gotta look for stuff like that, because that's how the rattle starts. Get clips left behind. Nothing's sitting right anymore. All it takes is 2 seconds. Do this. I think we can get this guy out. Oop, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen either. That's plan A. There we go. That's better. Let me grab the door panel. Let's find these missing clips. I can do this with one hand. Thank you very much, Jose. There's 1, 2, and 3. Well, I got all my clips. I see them. We're good. I think it's ready to go back. Uh-oh. You got a clip that fell. Where did you fall from, my friend? Aha. There it is. That's it. This is done. Put our strap here. Okay. Now these clips, we've talked about them in another video. Just kind of put your screwdriver here, screwdriver there. They come right out. Do not drop them inside the door. You'll be eternally sorry. Because they'll end up here inside the door structure, and you'll spend a while getting them out. And if you don't, you'll have an eternal rattle. Every time you open the door, rattle. All right, let's get the side panels on. Line it up. There's one of them. Okay, is this even gonna work? Wow, it works. I really like this car, man. It's nice to over 200,000 miles. I just bought it, and that works. This was a super common problem with these. Well, before we forget, remember this panel I told you about? Everybody forgets it. There we go. I think this is one job done out of 2. Just test it one last time. I like that. Wiper's working properly. Now, wiper insert, we could use a new one, but I think we're good. Now, this car also has, this was one of the 2 things that we recommended the customer. He wanted the wiper done, because obviously for safety, but it has a lot of knocking noises. He thought it needed all the new suspension. It's actually a sway bar links. Let's put it up in the air and I'll show you. So here's what we got going on with this car. I'll take a quick peek at it here. Look at this sway bar link. It's an aftermarket one, of course. And yeah. See that little movement there? That's all it takes, folks, for these sway bar link to make all kinds of noise. See that movement? because the ball socket inside is just hitting up and down. Same thing on this side. Also an aftermarket one. Look at this part right here, how it moves. See that? Like if I start shaking it, you hear a little bit of knocking. Hear that? That's all it takes. It's gonna make a lot of noise over bumps. Now this car did have aftermarket quick struts. They'll make a little bit of noise. If you look at them, they're very unbeautiful. Make a little bit of noise, but nothing over the top. Front cover is leaking in the middle, which is kind of weird. If you look at it right here, you see that it doesn't really have any oil leak in here. But if you look at it in the V in the top, just a little bit of leakage. Same thing with the transmission. You look right here around. I'll give you a little bit of light. See it a little bit wet. Not a giant leak, seepage. It's actually coming from the cover on the side. Yeah, you see it a little bit here. That's where it starts, all the way at the top here. Given the miles of this car, we need a case reseal here. Given the miles of the car, it's a very high risk job. For such a tiny seepage that's barely even coming out, I don't think it is something I would recommend we get done. But otherwise, everything else good. Brakes are good. All suspension is good. The tires are humming. This is the thing with folks. Don't do this to your cars. Look at this fine brand, Phantom C Sport. We get tires like this, folks. Of course, they bought the car with these tires. They make such a strange hum. It almost sounds like a bearing is going on or something. It's just these tires. It's cheapo tires. They just don't sound good. But otherwise, I mean, it's really good shape. Barely has any rust. It's pretty clean. A little bit here. That's pretty normal. This thing has 200,000 miles. It's from here. Whoever had it pretty took care of it. Drive shaft doesn't have any movement. All the CV, all the U-joints are good. This one is good. No leaks in the back. Brakes are good. All the suspension, original struts. They actually don't make noise. Rear sway bars, links, they're original. They're good. There's another one. They're good. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful car. It's actually in really good shape because they were concerned. They just bought it. And actually, the owner told me they went through my buying guide for these, so he knew about the rear wiper. He looked for the front cover leak. Fortunately, there was another small leak in the middle, but let's see if we can get these sway bars out. We can replace them, the originals, so we wouldn't have that knocking noise no more. Let's get the wheels off. Let's get those taken care of and wrap up this video. So let's secure this. This happens to be the 18mm variety because it's aftermarket. You will never find an 18mm size on a Toyota. That's at least as far as I remember. Oh, that came out. She's cooperating with us today. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Let's go do that side. Let's use the shop. A little bit of a mess today. Even this side, usually this is a clean, organized side. We've been so busy lately that it's hard to find the time to organize stuff. But weekend's almost here. Filming this Thursday. There you go. Now that we got this side, we can actually push it up like so and get to the other side. Let's see if we are. There we go. Now we just have to engineer something to go here. I mean, I could use so if you come here, see that little opening here? Right here, where you see daylight. I can put a socket through there to come up here. But let me try something. Let's just bring out an old friend, if you would. An old friend. Hammerhead. This is from Ingersoll Rand. Now this is missing a clip. It seems like every time I put a clip on it, it just falls off the next day. I never had the time to really look into getting a proper one for it. Let's see if I can make it work. No, we're gonna have to get a swivel. Let me find a swivel. Okay, let's see. There it is. Out the handle. I have a feeling my old friend is gonna let me down. Not that strong. My old friend did let me down. And now the socket is stuck. Let's just get it from the bottom. So I'm gonna try to go through here. A little bit longer one. Just engineer something that goes there and here. And use a 1/2-inch impact. We can speed this along. Get this aftermarket junk out of here. Whoa, relax. There it goes. There it is. Wonder what kind of junk brand is this? I'm so embarrassed of it. There's just a number here. There is no brand. They're so embarrassed of their horrible quality. Oh yeah, look at this one. See how I can move it? Like not the side to side. This is up and down as normal, but this. See that? Normally it should be like this. Move it up and down, left and right. But when you hold it straight, it should not move. This is not moving. So this one is no good. Now the other side is going to be interesting because the cover's in the way. I think we're going to have to take the cover down. Okay, let's get the cover down. All I need is just back of the cover to come down. Just kind of leave it hanging. We don't really need to take the whole cover off. Okay. Come on. You can do it. There we go. That's it. Let's see how this side looks like. Same thing, same horrendous brand. Oh, yeah, this one is. This one, oh, sounds good. It's very stiff. So, let's get the new stuff. I think I left them on the same table when we were doing the wiper motor. Beautiful original ones with new nuts every time you replace a sway bar link on a Toyota. Order the nuts with them. They're such high quality nuts, especially if you're in rusty land. If you're not in rusty land, you can reuse them. It's just a nut. But here's a beautiful original one on this particular car. They are the same side to side. But just know that there are a lot of models that the left and right are not the same, so be careful with that. Now I can use my old friend. I was really excited to use my old friend. Able to get it going. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Yay, my old friend still works. Me and this guy have been through a lot over the years. I mean, this is, I think, my third one. We've been through a lot. This was the time before the Milwaukee, like little, what do you call it? The little ratchet was available, all the cordless stuff that we got now. This was the king of the castle. But I haven't used it in such a long time. That's why I never really bother putting the ring on the tip here, because I don't even use it. I literally am using it today just to relive old memories, I guess. So we'll do this side. Come on, old friend. For old time's sake. Wonder why I can't hear. You know, now we're using like cordless tools and all that, because these things are loud. Wonder why all mechanics are deaf. That's if you wonder, that's why. Just back on. Right, let's lower this car, get the top nuts, put the wheels on. It's ready. Okay. I think we're stuck on the other side. Let me go unstuck it. There we go. Let's go to the other side. That's it. We are done with this job. Hopefully no more clunking sounds for this one. Well, it's still gonna be a little bit because aftermarket quick struts. I mean, unless this is a car you're basically getting rid of very soon. Really on a tight budget. Let's avoid these. I'd rather drive on noisy original struts than these. Let's put it this way. Personally, the owner of this car kind of stuck with it. Usually this is what I tell folks. You just bought a car that has these, they make a little bit of noise. It's like, well, what do I do? You just change them? No. Write them out. That's what I'll tell you. Basically, drive them until they're horrendous. If they're really bad, then replace them. But it doesn't make sense just to replace them just because they make a little bit of noise. But they're safe otherwise, but they're just, they'll never be quiet. The car will never ride the same. So there you have it, folks. This car is done. I think the owner will be happy. He wanted the wiper to work because he knew it didn't work from the get-go. And he was worried about all them knocking noises, so that's all taken care of and gone. One note about sway bar links. I'm noticing certain cars will have a very high labor rate on its front sway bar links. Folks, I don't recall the last Toyota that had a complicated front sway bar link. I don't think it ever exists. So hour and a half is tops for most of them. I think this generation Highlander hybrid, some labor manuals will call for 8 hours. They want you to pull the subframe for some reason. It's like, no, we don't. Heads up, because some shops, or mainly and some service advisors that have no clue, they don't have a business doing what they do. They literally are looking up a labor time, whatever it says, that's what they're going to charge the customer. And you get a customer that's not informed, they're going to pay a ridiculous amount of money to do something very simple. Hour labor is more than enough. That's how the standard of automotive charging is. If it takes you 15, 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour of labor is what the time is. If you get good at a job and you have all the tools to get it done very quickly, you should not be punished for that. That's the standard. That's the labor that is fair for the customer, fair for the shop and the mechanic. We're all happy, but there's no 8 hours or something like that. I've been seeing this, get a dealership estimate. The first one is, they quoted them a little bit more than us because obviously we're a small shop, we're not going to charge the same labor rate as the dealership, and they can't charge the same as us because we're a small shop. But then the next estimate you get is like 8 times more. Like, well, what's going on here? Are they robbing me? No, they're going by the labor guide without looking what the job is. So heads up on that, just wanted to bring it up. Folks, I hope this video was helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some other videos. Until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.